Welcome back. Welcome back. My next guest has reported from war zones all around the world. She's written accounts of her time in Iraq and Serbia, but is best known for her depiction of Afghan family life in the Bookseller of Kabul, or Kabul, whichever pronunciation you prefer. The book was published to global critical acclaim and went on to be an international bestseller in 40 languages. She is, of course, Asne Seierstad. Her latest book, The Angel of Grozny, is about her time on various visits to Chechnya. She joins me now to talk about writing and reporting and life within a war zone. Welcome, Asne. Very good to have you with us.
Thank you.
The picture we get from this book of yours is that it is perhaps the grimmest place in the world, Grozny.
It's one of the grimmest, especially in our part of the world, which Chechnya, after all, is. It is a part of Russia, it's a part of Europe. And under the surface in this place, you see the most totalitarian, torture run, in a way, republic. How is it now so quiet on the surface? Well, because it's run on fear. The stabilization of Chechnya is run by fear and terror, and people are just been so brutalized, and they're just afraid to speak up. And even though the killings are still going on, the disappearances are still going on, and there's great abuses of human rights in Chechnya.
And how did you therefore get in? Because the Russian regime doesn't encourage a great deal of free enterprise in news gathering in Chechnya, does it?
The only way to get into Chechnya, if you really want to report openly, or better say hiddenly, and to get something out of the place, what's really happening, you have to go, as I did, in disguise. I went in as a Chechen woman, flying into some of the neighboring republics of Chechnya, and with a headscarf, Chechen clothing, Chechen jewelry, makeup, all little details. And I was even told how to look, and they told me that I was smiling too much, so that I should look down, bow my head, and frown.
And who was, or who is, the Angel of Grozny?
It's a woman who's done, I suppose, the opposite of what most of us would have done in a war, which is to flee or to hide and take care of our loved ones. She went out in the streets and she asked, who needs me? And who needs help in a war zone? The most vulnerables, which are the children. And that became actually one of the main focuses on the book, together with abuses of human rights, the effect on war on children. Like the opening chapter is about Timur, 12-year-old boy, who, when I meet him, he goes around and kills dogs because he's got so much anger inside of him, and he's lost his parents, and his grandparents.
How does he kill dogs?
He teases them, gets them to come up to him. He has a brick in his hand or a stone, and he kills. These are very weak, stray dogs, and he said that that's the only thing that makes me feel strong, invincible, and calm. And this is how a boy of war speaks, and he got help from the Angel of Grozny. But of course, what I also learned here is that you can't just patch together a childhood or mend up a broken child by giving him a warm bed and some hot milk. It's like the war will still live inside of them. And this boy, which I followed throughout the book, he is what you might say a very bad boy. He leaves the orphanage, he breaks the windows, he does all these evil things, which he says he does because he is evil. And when I asked him, what could you do to get rid of this evil feeling inside of you? He said, well, the only way to do it is to kill every people that ever been mean to me. And there you see just directly how this war and the new generations also grow up with this feeling of revenge, whether it's an anger against the Russians or against people who abuse them, or at least this boy, he wants to change the bricks, exchange them with a gun or a knife, and become a fighter. And that's the problem of this war torn children.
Do you think overall, I mean, the number of war correspondents and war reporters, you know, who are women is still relatively small and so on. Do you think, in this context of war territories, war zones and so on, do you think that being a woman is an advantage, makes things easier for you or more difficult?
Well, it's easier to hide, I think, as a woman. As I told you about my Chechen headscarf, a man could not so easily hide. And imagining Afghanistan, where I was traveling around in a burqa, a man could also not have done that, whereas I could really report and go around freely without being shown as a white person with a big computer. And also, in strict Muslim societies, as Afghanistan, Iraq, including Chechnya, as a woman reporter, you get access to both worlds. And a man would very seldom get into the very hidden worlds of the women. So, for instance, the Bookseller of Kabul, where I stay with an Afghan family for half a year, that book could never have been written by a man, because a man could never have lived in a household with unmarried girls. And they would then never get married. That's what they said. And it's not that they don't want to tell their stories to the world, but they don't want their neighbor to see that a foreign man goes into their house and stays there for months. So actually, I think as a woman you have double access.
And of course, a man could not have had a child 3 months ago as you did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.